Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. Super excited today. Well, I'm always excited, obviously, because I love doing this. I love talking to you. I love giving you content. I love helping you. I love giving you information. But I thought today, let's move things a little tiny bit. But first, my name is Danny Wilson. I'm a sleep health and performance coach based in the UK. I help people dramatically increase their daily energy, drive, and focus. If this content resonates with you, why don't you do us both a favor and press subscribe? That means that you are going to get up-to-date information. Every single piece of content that I get, you are going to get a notification and you are going to absolutely thrive on what it is that I've got to say. Let's get into it. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past however many months, years, whatever, however long he's been around, you will have experienced the madness, the absolute lunacy of the Liver King. If you haven't, I'm going to set the scene for you. The Liver King looks like an oversized Viking, an oversized barbarian. He has the personality to match the physique. He basically lives his life like a caveman. He eats organ meat. He drinks blood. He drinks raw eggs. He lives an ancestral life. Now, because he's very, very different, everybody fucking hates him. And I'm going to fucking admit, the first time I saw him, I just thought, you're absolute chatting shit. You are talking so much crap, trying to polarize people, trying to pull people in. But by doing this, I genuinely believed he was more than likely hurting people, because the information that he gives is so far away from mainstream media. It reminds me a little tiny bit of when Joe Wicks first came on the scene. When Joe Wicks first came on the scene, probably 7 or 8 years ago, because his message was completely different, because he wasn't screaming and shouting calorie deficit from the top of the treetops and top of the buildings, the entire fitness world jumped on him, me included. I couldn't stand the guy. And it's the same with the Liver King. Because the Liver King's message is completely different, because it's so crazy, it's so far away from modern life that it's laughable. You can't take it seriously. So I watched some of his short form content. I watched him necking 30 fertilized eggs, and I watched him eating a heart. I watched him eating liver and his crazy meals and his family, and he never has a shirt on, and he just came across as a complete fucking bellend, to be honest. So I prejudged him, which I'm quite embarrassed about now, to be honest, because since then I've watched some of his longer form content. In particular, I watched his interview on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive. This was 60 to 90 minutes, I think it was. And it really went into depth of why he makes the choices that he does, why he lives the life, what his message is. And I'm ashamed to say I got the guy so wrong, and now I absolutely love him. I think his message is absolutely fantastic. And the reason that I believe that I resonate with him so much is we're kind of the same. Our message, our ethos, is so fucking frighteningly similar. He helps people, he encourages people, he wants people to live as their higher selves. You've probably heard me talking about showing up as your higher self, showing up as your version 2.0, creating the life that you want to live. He talks a lot about that. It's very, very similar to what I do. He lives his life. He has 9 ancestral tenets: sleep, eat, move, shield, connect, cold, sun, fight, and bond. If we strip this back, if we strip back his way of life, he calls them ancestral tenets. I say raising your standards. I say improving in areas of your life. Sleep is his first ancestral tenet. Don't think I need to remind you I'm the sleep guy. I don't think you need telling again the priority that I place on sleep. I place sleep as the number one priority when it comes to a long-term successful transformation. He prioritizes sleep in the same way that I do. His second ancestral tenet is eat. It's exactly the same as what I do. I encourage people to look at the quality of their food. I encourage people to look at the timing of their food. I encourage people to cut out the processed crap. I encourage people to eat more lean, high quality proteins. Just like him, his third ancestral tenet is move. Again, I encourage people to at least once a day get massively out of breath. Train at the gym really, really hard 3 to 4 times a day. Walk everywhere that you can. His next ancestral tenet is shield. Again, if we're going to relate this ancestral tenet to the lessons which I preach, to the methodology which I help people do, I like people to turn their phone off between 8 and 8. I like people to shield from modern technology. I like people to turn off their notifications, to shield their focus from the attention stealing, ripping your ability to focus from your brain, smartphone technology. Next ancestral tenet is connect. Again, I encourage people to connect with nature, to connect with the earth. I encourage people to go out first thing in the morning with no shoes on and stand in the garden. I encourage people to go for a walk in the woods, to spend time in the hills, to sit by rivers. I encourage people to connect the same way that he does. We just have different words. His next ancestral tenet is cold. Again, I don't think I need to remind you of the importance that I place on daily cold water therapy. His next ancestral tenet is sun. I wrote a post about this today, about the importance of getting out in the morning and exposing yourself to natural sunlight at first light. This is going to massively highly tune your own circadian rhythm, linking that to the first ancestral tenet, which is sleep, which means that you get sun first thing in the morning, you are going to sleep better at night. His next ancestral tenet is fight. I'm going to relate this to me because we talk about the same thing. We talk about fighting the modern world. We talk about fighting illness. We talk about fighting low libido caused by our lifestyle choices. His last ancestral tenet is bond. Again, you have seen what I'm like. You have seen what I'm like with my kids. You've seen what I'm like with my girlfriend. You know that I leave my phone at home. You know that I at night time I don't have my phone on. You know that I want to bond and connect with my family. You know the importance that I place on it. So I can categorically tell you that I was wrong. The Liver King is not a cock. The Liver King is not talking shit. The Liver King has a different message. The Liver King wants people to turn up as their higher self. The Liver King is encouraging people to create the lives that they want. So I guess what I'm trying to say with this video is you shouldn't really prejudge anyone, because like what Ralph Waldo Emerson said, teach a man the principles and let him find out his own methodology. Yes, Liver King's methodology is so far away from the norm, but does that make it wrong? Does that make it that bad that he is living an ancestral life? I, for one, absolutely love the Liver King. I don't think he's a bad guy at all. The elephant in the room, however, is the fact that he claims natural status. He denies that he uses any kind of pharmaceutical assistance to get to the size that he is. And in all honesty, he's a big dude. He is absolutely jacked. However, I totally understand. The fitness industry is full to the brim of people claiming that they are natural when they are not. So this is not a new thing. This is not revolutionary. This is just the norm in the fitness industry. I can kind of understand why. It's going to damage his brand. It's going to damage his business. It's also going to possibly confuse his kids. Maybe when his kids are a little bit older, he'll sit them down and he'll say, look, you know, as a man gets a little bit older, his testosterone starts to decline. So, you know, using something to top that back up again, whatever. I don't know. All I know is I'm a huge fan of the Liver King. He's very endearing. He's a very interesting guy, and I really like his theory. I really like his methodology. I'm even gonna go get some liver, get some heart, and get some testicles, and I'm gonna cut them up and I'm gonna eat them and I'm gonna see what happens. Maybe I'll even do a YouTube video on it. Anyway, I'm gonna scoot. I feel like I've waffled on long enough. Hopefully you've enjoyed this slightly different direction with today's video, and I'll catch you soon.
If you're sick of your own shit and you're looking to dramatically increase your daily energy, drive, and focus, I urge you to click the link so you can get instant access to my upgraded energy blueprint.